It's okay to want to wear these hats and wear them proudly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, don't forget who the fuck you are in the process. Don't forget that you too have dreams. Don't forget that you have a life and an identity outside of your household. Just a disclaimer before we get into the video, this is not meant to offend anybody. These are just my own thoughts, and I really want to get y'all's opinions on this story as well. Also, if you hear all that thumping and whatnot in the background, please try to ignore it. My kid's just up there playing. Baby, let's talk. I was really just gonna pour me up a little drinky drink and read something on my Kindle. But I really gotta talk about this. I just feel like this should be a topic of discussion. We haven't done a story time chit chat since that whole Readers Take Denver book convention debacle. So we back with another one. Y'all go ahead, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, grab your little drinky drink or your little smoky smoke. Let's go ahead and chat. So I just got a Barefoot Red Moscato. Something real simple. I prefer sweet wines over dry. So we're gonna see how this tastes because I don't think I've ever had this one. Okay. So y'all, those that have been following me for a while, y'all know I don't really do too much like gossiping or, you know, getting into people's business and things like that. Like, that's usually not my steez, right? Anytime I hop on this channel, it's really me just spilling my own tea, me telling my own stories, things that happen to me, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. But with this particular story, I just feel compelled to talk about it because I just empathize with the situation. For one, because I'm a woman, two, because I'm a mother, you know? So I just feel like it gotta be talked about. I really just want to see how y'all feel. Like, what's y'all opinions? What's y'all thoughts on this? Because I've seen so many think pieces all over social media. So I'm kind of interested to see what anybody else thinks. So I'm going to tell y'all the story for those that don't know. I'm referring to the whole New York Times ballerina forum situation with, what's her name? Hannah Neiman, I think. Is that how you say the last name? I can't remember. Okay, let's get into this tea, honey. So first off, for those that don't know the story, I'm gonna give you just a quick little rundown, a quick little background of what I got from not only social media, but from the New York Times, I guess paper or article, whatever you wanna call it. So the story basically follows Hannah. Hannah was a very, very, very talented ballerina dancer, okay? She got accepted into Juilliard. Juilliard, y'all. Like, not no dang on Save the Last Dance Juilliard. Real life Holyfield Juilliard. And those that are dancers, no, it is not easy to get in that school. Like, it's not easy to even look at that school. You know what I'm saying? So for her to even be able to go to the school alone just speaks to her talent. It just speaks to her talent as a dancer, right? She runs into her now husband. Her husband, before they were married, I don't remember his name. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't remember his name, but he was pursuing her for the longest time. He was trying to date her and she was like, no, I am focusing on school. I'm focusing on dance, you know, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. So I wanna say, let me not lie. I don't really know how long, but I don't know if it was a couple of months or like a year or so where they finally ended up chit-chatting again. So get this, the guy is basically a billionaire. His family owns, what is it, like JetBlue Airlines or something like that. So she's on a flight headed back to, I don't know if it's her hometown or wherever she's going. She's getting on the flight to go somewhere. He does a little finessing to where he ends up on the same flight with her, in a seat next to her, right? And from that point on, I guess they were inseparable, okay? So then the storyline follows. So then the storyline continues to where They're dating now. He wants to get married, and she's just like, no, like, can we wait for a little while? Like, can we wait until after, you know, school or whatever the case may be? And he's just very adamant, like, that's not going to work for me. Like, I want to get married to you now. So as she does, as most women do, she says, okay. They end up getting married like a short time after the engagement, right? Now, after this takes place, not even 2 to 3 months later, she ends up pregnant. And this is what gets me. She is the first pregnant woman. Like, she's in Juilliard, like at Juilliard. You can't, she's the first pregnant woman. Like, I just can't even, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Being fresh at Juilliard, starting my dance career, you get what I'm saying? And I end up pregnant. And clearly she decided to keep the baby. No judgment there. But it's like literally from that moment, your dreams are kind of flushed down the toilet. It's Juilliard. You know what I'm saying? So she ends up getting married. She ends up having this baby or whatever. And now they live on this farm. I think it's in Utah or something. Big ass farm. And I'm not judging about the farm life, okay? Because me, I want land. I want livestock. I want all the things. I want gardens. Like, you know, I want those same things too. You know what I mean? But for her, now she's on this farm with her husband, and not just with one child. She now has 8 children by this man, okay? Now, once again, I'm not knocking that, because, you know, people like big families. Some women want to have that many kids, you know? Whatever floats your boat, tickles your pickle. What gets me is everything that comes with it at this point, right? So she's on this farm. She has 8 children. There's no nanny. She's not allowed to have a nanny. The only time a nanny is able to be present is if it's a date night, okay? Whenever her and her husband are going on a date, that's when he allows a nanny to be on the scene, because he feels like she should be able, she's in this mother role, so she should be handling business, essentially, right? So she's not allowed to have a nanny, okay? Beyond me. One of the things that she wanted to have for herself, because we know, you know, she gave up Juilliard. One of the things she wanted to have for herself was a little dance studio. You know, they have tons of land. There was an available barn on their land or whatever that she wanted to turn into a dance studio. She was told she could not have that. You can't have that as a dance studio, because this is where the kids need to do school, okay? Whatever, you know, whatever. So it's just like slowly throughout this article, you're seeing how much of herself she has sacrificed for not only her children, but for her husband as well. And honestly, I'm keeping the storyline very light, very, very light, very light. From the article, also, I don't remember who wrote the article, but she also alluded to the fact that throughout the entire time she was there to interview Hannah, and the entire time she's trying to interview Hannah, her husband is not only present, but he's also like putting in his 2 cents. He's interrupting, he's taking over the interview and all of those things. It's like, I'm not here to interview you, I'm here to interview Hannah. She's a separate entity. Like, I don't understand. And then there was also a part where she says she barely had a moment to talk to Hannah by herself one-on-one, because if the husband wasn't present, the children were. One of the children were. You would think that if somebody's coming to interview your wife, you would keep your kids occupied, give your wife space to have this interview or do whatever it is that she needs to do. But instead, you're letting the kids do whatever the kids do, interrupt the interview. She has to stop talking to breastfeed or do whatever it is that she has to do. And not only that, but you're also front row and present as if the interview is about you. He's giving tours of the land. Like, we're not here for that. I'm here to talk to Hannah. I'm not really here to see all of the land. I'm not really here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to Hannah. Like, I'm confused. It's a lot. There was also a part where she was talking to the interviewer, and they were talking about childbirth, and she had natural birth with all, I think 7 of her kids. There was one child that she ended up getting an epidural for, but her husband, I don't know if her husband was aware of that before, pre-interview, because she didn't mention it until he like walked off to do something, and she kind of whispered it to the person that was interviewing her. It was essentially like, yeah, I gave birth to all of these kids natural except for one. I got the epidural, for this one, and that's only because he wasn't around. I can't remember why he wasn't present for that particular birth, but he wasn't present, so she ended up opting for the epidural. The baby was 10 fucking pounds, so she opted for the epidural. She said it was like the best feeling that she ever had. And just that alone, it speaks volumes, because out of all 7 of the children, you didn't have an option if you wanted to get an epidural. Now, granted, I'm all for natural birth, okay? Like, I gave birth to both of my kids natural, water births, okay? No medicine, no nothing. So I'm all for that. I don't knock women for doing medicine, but I'm all for doing it natural. If you want to do medicine, you do you. The fact that she had 7 children and an epidural or any type of medication wasn't even an option for her. The only time she was able to make that decision was when her husband wasn't present. That alone spoke volumes for me. One of the things that really got me too, though, is the fact that she practically was begging for a trip to Greece. She wanted to go to Greece for her birthday. Okay, and I'm not sure if this was a recent birthday, that just passed or what, but she wanted to go to Greece for her birthday, and rightfully so. This lady gave birth to 8 fucking children. She lives on this land milking cows and dealing with chickens and homeschooling and cooking from scratch. Let me add that. Cooking from scratch. Every meal that they eat is from scratch. All she wanted for her birthday was to go to Greece for a week. I don't see why this is a problem, because you're married to basically a billionaire who owns airlines. So it should be nothing to make this trip happen. Y'all, please tell me why this man, for her birthday, gives her he gives her the gift. She's unwrapping the gift, and apparently she's like super excited about it, and wanting to know, am I finally going to Greece? She's unwrapping the gift, or looking at whatever the gift is, and y'all, it is an apron, an egg apron. So apparently an egg apron, I don't really know the difference. It got pockets for eggs, I guess, but the fact that you got this lady an apron for her birthday, what the fuck? Like, an apron for her birthday, a day that's supposed to celebrate her, a day that's supposed to be about her. I'm scared to see how she's treated for Mother's Day. I fear to know how she's treated for Valentine's Day. What did she get for Christmas? 10 golden geese? Like, the fact that all this lady wanted was a trip to Greece, and it wasn't impossible for that to happen because y'all had the funds, you had the money, you owned the airline. She should have blinked and woke up in Greece. Instead, she got an apron for her birthday. That's not even for her. That's for the family. Like, it's not even a gift for her. I think that is what really, honestly, the whole story really blew my mind, but it's just so many red flags throughout this situation. Now, the thing about it is, I know a lot of people from, like I said, a lot of people had think pieces about what was going on. And I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of people's thoughts, because 2 things can be true at once, right? She did make the choice to drop out of Juilliard. She made the choice to marry this man. She made the choice to not only have 1 child, but 8. She made the choice to move on a farm. You see what I'm saying? Even if This wasn't the dream that she was sold. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't pillow talking. We wasn't in the room when they was pillow talking. We don't know what was discussed, what he told her, how life was going to be, or whatever the case may be. What I do recall is she wasn't aware that this was the life that he wanted until after they got engaged. He never disclosed that information until after a ring was on her finger. So that's one. But even after getting that information, she still decided to go through with it. So she did make a choice in the beginning. Now, do I believe that this was like abuse in the beginning? I can't necessarily say yes, because again, I'm not in these people's relationship. I really only know what's being talked about as far as the article is concerned. On top of that, we all know how journalists can be. We don't know if the story is being exaggerated. We don't know if some of the things are being left out. We don't know if everything that's being talked about is facts, right? It's journalism. But at the same time, if we're going strictly off the article alone, it's red flags everywhere. You see what I mean? And even if she did make the choice to do these particular things, it doesn't take away the fact that she is in an abusive relationship. Let's just call a spade. She may have made some of these choices, but it doesn't take away the fact that she is indeed in some form of abuse. You get what I'm saying? She's dealing with some form of abuse, mental and emotional. Now, I don't know if this man is beating her ass. We don't know that. But, you know, like, for the most part, it's screaming abuse. And not to mention, this part really stuck out to me, y'all, in this article. The husband was talking, and the husband said that the kids are pretty much old enough to where a lot of them are self-sufficient, so they're able to look out and take care of the other kids, right? That's already a red flag, because we're not even gonna get on that. But anyway, it goes, they're pretty much looking out for each other. The second thing he said is he does all the laundry. That's his responsibility. That's his chore. He takes care of all the laundry. And within doing all of that, with him being able to do the laundry and the kids being able to take care of themselves, Hannah still gets so exhausted that she has to be in bed for a week time frame because she's physically sick. It's the way that it's quoted and worded in the document, y'all. It's like I can hear him saying this, like, yeah, well, you know, the kids are old enough to do, you know, take care of themselves at this point. They're pretty self-sufficient, and, you know, I take care of all of the laundry and clothes and things like that. So yeah, Hannah does a lot, but, you know, with me doing this and the kids being able to do that, she's still exhausted. She still has to be in bed for a week because she's physically ill. Like, that alone just screams red flag. This lady is literally working herself to the bone for this family, for these children, for this husband, to the point to where she is physically ill from exhaustion, that she can't even get out of bed for weeks at a time. And people think that's normal. Now, just speaking off of my experience, okay? I can't speak for other parents. I can't speak for single parents, you know what I'm saying? I can only speak to my experience. And my experience is, baby, I have 2 kids. And I had both of them suckers back to back. Okay, so with that being said, I was damn near losing my goddamn mind from 2 children. And I'm a stay-at-home mother from 2 children, okay? I can't imagine 8 of them on top of taking care of a farm, on top of being financially stable and still not allowed to have a nanny unless it's beneficial to the man that I married because he wants to go on a date. That's the only time I can have help, is because you want to take me on a date. The one time that you take me on a date is when help can come in. Like, that's insanity. That is insane to me. Like, as a mother, you naturally, in today's society, and it's always, I can't even say today, in society in general, the way that the times have always been, as a mother, the moment you have children or the moment you get married or both, you are immediately giving up your identity. You are no longer who you were. You are a wife and you are a mother. You are a wife and you're a mother. And one thing about me, I strive hard to make sure that I keep and maintain my identity. I scream it from the mountaintops, and I don't care who I offend, because at the end of the day, I'm me before I'm a mother. I'm me before I'm a wife. I had an identity before I met any of you niggas. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lose myself behind these other titles, because the thing about it is, when you lose yourself, you cannot be 100% for the family that you helped create. It's not possible. And you know, I can't speak for every mother out there, because there's a lot of women that try to act like motherhood is a walk in the fucking park. Okay? And a lot of these women that act like it's a walk in the park is because either they are financially stable in the ways that they're able to have help or move around however they seem fit, so they're still able to do the things that they need to do in their own personal lives for themselves, or two, they actually have a consistent tribe where they have help around the clock. The mothers that don't have that are not the ones that are in the comments complaining, they're not the ones in the comments being judgmental to other mothers. You see what I'm saying? The mothers that know what it's really like to struggle doing certain things because you don't always have the help or whatever the case may be, they're not the ones in the comments judging other women, right? Like, they're not doing that because they understand, they sympathize, they empathize with what the reality of some people's situations are. And everybody's situations is different. If we take Hannah's situation for example, a lot of people are looking at her like, okay, well, baby, you're rich. You're married to money. That doesn't matter. You can be the richest person in the world and still be a victim of abuse. You could be the richest person in the world and still be in a situation to where you feel like there's no out. She has 8 children. Even if she did decide to leave this man, what is she gonna do? Because if she has to leave with them 8 kids, this man got a free life to start over or do whatever the hell he want to do. She still has 8 kids to take care of. Like, let's be so fucking for real, y'all. Like, what? And let's say she did decide to leave and just leave the kids behind. That's a hard choice to make too, because at the end of the day, you still a mom. Not every woman is in that position to where it's like, I'm going to leave my kids. You see what I'm saying? Like, not everybody's built like that to just be you. Like, you know what? I'm done with all this shit. I'm out. You know, not everybody's built like that. Like, let's be fucking for real. It's nothing about this situation that screams peaceful, that screams harmonious, that screams love. Nothing about this does. Even if she made the choice to do this, whether she knew what was going to take place or not, doesn't take away the fact that she's still in an abusive type of situation. It doesn't take away the fact. And now that she's deeper in the situation, it's even harder for her to get out of. The thing about it is, a lot of people make choices, but we don't realize that just because we make a choice doesn't mean we can't make another one. But sometimes the next choice that we have to make is an even harder choice because we already put ourselves in the situation. It's very possible Hannah's in the situation. It's just like, it ain't nothing I can do. I have 8 kids. I have 8 kids. And not only do I have 8 kids, but I'm married to a billionaire. I'm married to a billionaire. And let's just say he really is mentally and emotionally abusive. Who's to say what he's going to try to do if she does try to leave him? Who's to say she didn't sign a prenup? You see what I'm saying? Like, she's in a situation now to where we don't even know if it's really easy for her to get out of. And I feel like a lot of people are like overlooking that. It's not... I just empathize with her just simply because I am a mom and I know how hard it is to take care of 2 children. And I have, I don't have consistent help around the clock. I don't have a full-blown tribe like I feel like I should have. But at the end of the day, I do have help. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have 8 kids running around. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine that type of environment. And it's not to knock anybody that has big families. Like, I know it's possible. I know people do it. People do it, and it might be a walk in the park for some people. You know what I mean? But for somebody like Hannah that literally gave up everything. She gave up everything to be with this man. She gave up everything, her dreams, her identity, everything to be with this man. And that's another thing that I forgot. They're Mormon, so there's that. And that's not me judging anybody that is Mormon or anybody that is religious or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, it just goes to show how strong of a hold religion has on a lot of people's mindsets, because that's normal in the Mormon community to be married to certain people and be at servitude to your family, and also have a whole shit ton of kids. That's a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not to pass judgment, because that's normal. She's Mormon. So going into it, of course, she's probably looking at it like, this is the way that my life is supposed to be. But she probably didn't know that it was really going to be how it is, that how much she really would have had to give up and how much she really would have had to sacrifice just to do what it is that she's doing. She was in Juilliard, y'all. Like, I think that really hits home for me, because dance is my first love. I can't imagine making it to fucking Juilliard and ending up in the situation that she's in now. She doesn't have anything for herself. All she has to show for herself is these kids. The girl can't even have a studio on her own land, y'all. Like, she can't even have a barn turned into a studio, a dance studio for herself. A place where she can decompress. She can't even have that. She can't even have that. That's wild. That's wild. Y'all gotta tell me your thoughts. Like, have y'all heard about this story? How do y'all feel about this story? What is y'all thoughts on this story? Because for me personally, it's just really disheartening. I think I saw a comment where somebody said her story reminds them of the jewelry box with the ballerina that, you know, you have to wind up and she just dances in place. That almost made me cry, because that's literally what she is. She's a wildflower stuck in a box. That's another thing that really pisses me off with this society, is everybody's always intrigued with the wild ones. You're intrigued with the wildflowers. You're intrigued with the ones that have, you know, these mindsets of just like freeness, you know? A lot of people are infatuated with people that have free spirits, and they get with these people that have free spirits, and then you want to try to tame them, or you want to try to humble them, or you want to try to put them in a box. You want to try to change them. The very thing that attracted you, the very thing that intrigues you, the very thing that you initially loved, you want to put on a shelf for yourself. That's sick to me. That is so sick. Like, this girl had dreams. This girl had big dreams. Big dreams. And it just makes me wonder what his mindset was. Like, when he saw her, did he see like, oh my goodness, she's gonna make it big. She's gonna be big, and I want that for myself. But like, I want that for myself, and I'm gonna keep it for myself. Like, she's mine now. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can't be no bigger than this. Like, I have to keep her in this cage. I have to keep her. Like, that is just so, it's so disheartening, because that is so many stories for so many women all over the fucking world. There's so many people that are just meant to be so free and so happy and so it's just, women are really just losing themselves behind men and children. And that's not to say that it can't be in reverse, but I can't speak for the male experience. I'm not a male. You know what I'm saying? Like, my birth chart might hold big energy, and I may have a lot of masculine energy, but at the end of the day, I still have lady parts. So I can't speak for the male experience, you know, and the things that they may have to sacrifice in terms of family, or, you know, whatever the case may be. I can only speak for women. And as far as history goes back, it's always been women that's had to sacrifice everything for their counterpart, to take care of a family, to take care of their husband, to take care of the household, and have nothing for themselves. Nothing for themselves, nothing to show for it, nothing. And people expect them to just do it with a pat on the back and a smile on their face because this is your job. This is what you were here for. We're like, women are just breeding machines. A lot of the times men just look at women like that's a wife. If I can count, y'all, if I could tell y'all how many times men have come out their face to me and said they wanted me barefoot and pregnant, that's not a compliment to me. That's not a compliment to me. Why do you want me barefoot and pregnant? For what? For what? Because a lot of men keep women pregnant or want to keep women pregnant because you have them stuck in the house. They can't do nothing. You can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Granted, pregnancy doesn't hold you back, but at the end of the day, it's not a whole lot you can do when you're pregnant. And then once the baby comes, you have to take care of said child. And then let's just say you have another one. Now you have to take care of the one you already have and the next one that coming. And the cycle continues. And the majority of the time, the men are still out the house doing whatever the hell they want to do. If you decide to get divorced, a lot of the times the children coming with you. So now you still doing what you've been doing when you was married, while that man is now free to do whatever the fuck else he still wants to do. Like, it's, I just really want women to just not forget who they are. It's okay to be a wife. It's okay to be a mother. It's okay to want a family. It's okay to want to wear these hats and wear them proudly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, don't forget who the fuck you are in the process. Don't forget that you too have dreams. Don't forget that you have a life and an identity outside of your household, outside of your family dynamic. You're more than just a mother. You're more than just a wife. You're more, and you deserve more. I just think it's a very sad story, y'all. It's a very sad story. I empathize with her. I empathize with her. As a woman and as a mother, I empathize because it's not easy. That's not an easy thing. I just feel like as women, we should be empathizing regardless. Like, even if she made the choice to be there, I get it. I get it. She made that choice. Why should I be upset about it? Why should I feel a way about it? Like, that's what she wanted. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, two things can be true at once. She did make that choice. But it still doesn't take away the fact that she is literally, just based off of the article alone, that lady is screaming for help. She is screaming for help. And she probably feels like there's nothing that she could do because by religion, that's what she signed up for. When she signed her name on the dotted line and she said yes to that man, that's what she signed up for. When she continued to pop out them kids, that's what she signed up for. So naturally, she's standing 10 toes down on the decision she made. I get it. We should all get it. We make choices that we feel like sometimes we probably shouldn't have made that choice. But once you make the choice, you stand on it because that's the choice that you made. That doesn't take away the fact that she's probably drowning and hurting in the process. A week in bed from physical illness, y'all. That lady is not okay. She's not okay. And can't nobody convince me otherwise. Can't nobody convince me that she's happy doing what it is she's doing. She would probably be happier if she had a barn where she could still dance. Even if she couldn't make it in Juilliard like that was the plan, she would have still had a barn where she could have danced. Because the life and the dream that she has right now, that wasn't her dream, that was her husband's dream. Her dream was to be in New York and to be a dancer and to be doing Broadways. Instead, she's on a farm. Everything that she's doing right now is because that's what her husband wanted. No nanny, husband. On that farm, husband. No dance studio, husband. No Juilliard, husband. You know what I'm saying? How fast the marriage went, how fast they had to hurry to get married, husband. The fact that she got a fucking apron for her birthday instead of a trip to Greece, husband. Everything that's taking place is all her husband's wants. This girl don't got nothing for herself. She don't got no choices. She don't got no identity. She don't got nothing. And for that, I empathize. So y'all let me know your thoughts, y'all. I thought this was a hot take because it was just like, wow, what the hell? But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like this is just her choice and she just need to stand on it? Like you don't feel no way, no sympathy, no empathy, nothing? Or do you really feel for her? Like, how would you feel if it was you? Let's talk about it. Put it in the comments. Let's discuss. But all right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because my children are supposed to be sleeping. But it sounds like my son is doing backflips off of the fucking couch like he's Donnie Thornberry in this bitch. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this and go upstairs and play warden, I guess. And thank God I'm not the one with 8 fucking kids. Ooh, child. All right, y'all. Bye.